Can I get vaccinated and still get the flu? Stay tuned.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max Gels. Concentrated power. 25% smaller pill. Max your cold relief with Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Brought to you by Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Lovely. How does one make such delightful cucumber sandwiches?
Frank's Red Hot sauce, Your Majesty. I put that on everything.
Frank's Red Hot Original. The perfect blend of flavor and heat.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. Ensure, now up to 30 grams of protein for strength and energy.
Behold, the Pacifica Hybrid.
It's half gas, half electric. Kind of like I'm half mom, half comedy sensation. What?
More like half mom, half got dressed in the dark.
Half drama queen, half accessory stealer. Yeah, I know that's my bracelet.
Mom, how long are you two gonna do this?
With a 566-mile driving range, I can do this all day. Oh! Hope we see some of your friends.
Millions of people across the country are losing weight and improving their health. What do we all have in common? Nutrisystem.
Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your healthier.
No counting, no measuring, no weigh-ins.
Order your 28-day plan and save 40% off every program.
Join the millions who have lost weight and improved their health. Go online right now.
Order Nutrisystem now, and for a limited time, save 40% off every program, plus get probiotic shakes free.
Today's Best Western rewards you in a flash. Get a free night fast with points that never expire at over 4,200 hotels worldwide. And get double rewards points on every stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
You can drink, eat well, and exercise, but to look completely healthy, you need healthy skin. Cetaphil is clinically shown to strengthen the skin's barrier and protect even the most sensitive skin against dryness, so you can look healthier. Complete your healthy routine with Cetaphil.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate helps you with DriveWise. Feedback that helps you drive safer, and that could lower your cost.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to have an attorney.
Ma'am, he'll be read his rights and taken to the station.
What about my rights?
In Florida, those accused of a crime are read their constitutional rights. But what about victims? No criminal should have stronger rights than their victim. It's time for equal rights. It's time for Amendment 6.
Discover a better night's sleep, free gifts, and more during Mattress One's Columbus Day sale. Save $500 on a Sealy mattress from $299. Save $700 on a Sealy Gel Memory Foam mattress, just $599. Mattress One has a huge selection to choose from, in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Plus, enjoy free gifts with purchase and 0% APR for 5 years with equal payments during Mattress One's Columbus Day sale. Visit mattress1.com to find a store near you.
Please, help us stop the killing today.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust in the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 78. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 89. Chance of rain 80%. Thursday night, late night thunderstorms. Low 76. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It was rough
come off the house about the time the hurricane come over. I was in the bathroom, me and my wife and stepson was in the bathroom, and felt the wall shake and everything. About that time, the roof come off the house, and for an hour, the eye of the hurricane, it stood right there in the middle of it. It broke loose, and we're lucky we're alive at this point.
And that resident you're hearing from there doesn't live very far from where we stand right now. Again, the roof peeled right off their apartment, and so left completely exposed to the storm. And that's really the norm here in Panama City. I'm meteorologist Alex Wilson. We moved from Panama City Beach here to Panama City because obviously farther east meant they were exposed to more of those strong winds at the onset and through the duration of Hurricane Michael here in the area. Now, we've seen widespread damage here across this community. There are power lines down just about everywhere, trees down as well. We look down this street, and this street really inaccessible because we've got so many down trees. Now, we have seen a few people kind of skirt their cars out of driveways here to go around, but the police officers have also been driving around saying out over the loudspeaker that a curfew is now in effect. So they actually went ahead and started the curfew now in effect until 8 o'clock in the morning. They want to keep people off the roads, off the streets, because there is so much debris and so many down power lines. Let's go this way. Juan, my photographer, giving you a look at what's happening. We've got plenty of sheet metal that's been flying around, and obviously any pieces like that could still get picked up by some of the stronger gusts that we've seen. Here a street sign holding that back. A down palm tree. Right over here, we've seen plenty of down power lines as well. You can see this gas station on the other side of this store took some serious damage. All the signs blown out of that one. Even the building across the street seeing some damage there too. I don't know if that's a chimney, but some of the structure peeled back there. Our Cricket Wireless store across the street completely exposed to the elements as well. And then we've got our truck station, our truck repair shop across the street that is also exposed. We'll actually walk over that way to give you an idea of what you're going to be up against if you try to be out here in the evening. Now the sun's going down. It's going to be a lot tougher to see. We've got pieces of wood. Here it looks like a piece of a fence is in the road. There's some more sheet metal, perhaps a lining or a gutter off a building. We've got nails just about everywhere. So this is the kind of stuff that you're going to be walking around and possibly through. Plenty of broken glass, as we saw some cars that had the windows blown out. And then again here, pieces of our building, our truck repair station, where we've got wood, we've got metal, we've got bricks down, and you can feel and hear that the wind is still going in the area, so still enough debris out there. You don't want to see a little piece of that metal or something get blown around. Even on our way here, there were like street signs that had been uprooted and pulled away from the sign, and they were just dangling around or flying around, fluttering around in the street with the winds. We actually did see a man here earlier got injured. You can see some of the power lines, and they're very tough to make out actually until you're right upon it. Well, he walked into a down power line and I think pulled off something from the pole, and his whole shoulder and his head was cut as well. So we've seen injuries here, much less in the way of people walking around now. We've seen a few people on bikes as well. For the most part, I would say within the last 15 to 20 minutes, it's been the majority of police going up and down these streets with the lights on, announcing to people that they'd like them to get to their safe spot. They want to make sure all that can be secured is secured. You know, we've got stores, we've got businesses, we've got homes that are now exposed to the elements and wide open. Mike Bettis, I know I'll take you back over there in our next hit, but our Cricket Wireless store, where, you know, the cell phones are just dangling down because all of the windows blown out in this store, and this is just one of many here in Panama City.
You know, the thing is right now is the time we're going to do a lot of damage assessments, right? But hurricanes are hard. Prepping for a hurricane is hard. Evacuating is hard. Cleaning up afterwards is hard, right, Alex? Because now, I even look at what's going on here in Apalachicola, okay? This is very indicative of what we see. You know, we've got leaves and tree branches and what have you. But it takes time. You've got to get out here with rakes, or you're going to hire a service, and you've got to get all these things cleaned up, or you need to take pictures. You have to have your insurance agent come out and take a look. If someone has to assess the damage, if you have to file a claim, those kind of things. So it's just taxing, I think, Alex. And for a lot of people, don't forget, we get injured afterwards as well. That's one of the things that can happen. So we urge you to be careful, right, Alex? I mean, you don't, just a simple thing like using gloves can go a long way in helping you just prevent something as simple as cuts on your hands.
Yeah, there is I mean, glass, nails, splintered wood as far as the eye can see. And, you know, we've seen a lot of people here walking around shirtless, some with just maybe flip-flops on. Not what you want to be exposing yourself to, because, again, stuff is still blowing around. A flip-flop isn't going to protect you if you catch a nail that's on a plank that's pointed up. So there's a lot out here that could still really put you in a tough and injured situation. And unfortunately, we saw that earlier. We heard the woman yelling that somebody needs an EMT. And unfortunately, there are so many emergency responders trying to respond that it might take some time. So be safe, stay put, and we'll have more coverage after this.
Today we're here to talk about trucks.
I love trucks.
Whoa. What truck brand comes from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road?
I think it's the Chevy.
Ford.
It's not Ford.
I think it's Ram.
Not Ram either.
That's
It's Chevy.
Gorgeous.
Get a total value of $10,000 when you finance with GM Financial. That's 20% below MSRP on this Chevy Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Ever since Daryl's family started using Gain Flings, their laundry smells more amazing than ever.
Honey, isn't that the dog's towel?
Hey, me towel? Sue towel. More Gain scent plus Oxy Boost and Febreze makes Gain Flings our best gain ever. Gain. Seriously good scent.
People don't expect a female mechanic. They also don't expect Lean Cuisine made with organic ingredients. But here we are, introducing a new line from Lean Cuisine. My favorite, new Farmer's Market pizza. With its crispy organic crust and mozzarella cheese. Feed your phenomenal with Lean Cuisine.
652 hours of live TV. 32 days out in the elements. And one legendary field test.
We got a good old-fashioned blizzard here.
We challenged the Weather Channel to put our squall parka through winter's worst and use their feedback to make it more functional, comfortable, and winterproof than ever before. The new Squall Parka, field tested by the Weather Channel, made even better by Land's End. Guaranteed, period.
Our craftsmen begin each day perfectly seasoning our Hillshire Farm smoked sausage. So by simply adding the right ingredients, you can end each day crafting a perfectly delicious dinner.
With worsening weather patterns, an aging vulnerable power grid, and the growing risk of cyber terrorism, power outages are a part of life now. That can be stressful because we depend on power more than ever. When the power goes out, we lose everything. We can't even charge our smartphones. Now more than ever, you need a Generac automatic home standby generator. With Generac, power stays on in your house, even if you're not at home. Generac's automatic home standby generators start at just $19.99. Special financing is available with affordable monthly payments. Plus, with the Generac mobile link, you can check on your generator anytime. Call or go online to schedule your free in-home assessment. And if you act right now, you'll receive our 7-year extended limited warranty, a $695 value, absolutely free. Control your power and control your life with a Generac.
Hurricane Michael is the worst storm that the Florida Panhandle has ever seen, and one of the worst power storms to ever make landfall in the United States. We heard of significant impacts at Tyndall Air Force Base and many communities along the coast. As Hurricane Michael continues its destructive path through the Panhandle and leaves our state, we're turning 100% of our focus on search and rescue and recovery.
Well, the sun now setting on a very active day across parts of the Florida Panhandle. You were just hearing from Governor Scott about the communities that have been highly affected, including Tyndall Air Force Base, where a wind gusting almost 130 miles an hour was reported before they lost the instrument. Here in Panama City, Florida, before we lost our instrument, a wind gust of 116 miles per hour reported. Now, the winds have generally, or have obviously been lower, but generally calm. We have seen some stronger gusts from time to time, like what you felt, or what you may have noticed there or heard on my microphone, probably about a 40 mile per hour gust at times. So we saw plenty of damage here to a truck repair station. We've also got a Cricket Wireless here, a gas station, and widespread damage is the norm here. This is US 98, so this is a big thoroughfare between Panama City Beach and Panama City. Now, in Panama City Beach, you were farther to the west, so you didn't get as strong of winds as what we saw here in the Panama City area. When we're talking about the eye wall of a hurricane, obviously, every mile makes an important difference. Here we've got windows blown out. We've got sheet metal everywhere, power lines down galore. Power outages, obviously, the norm. And we saw a lot of people walking around when we first got here to Panama City. At this point, it's been pretty quiet. We haven't seen as many people out and about as it's getting dark. And the police have been out telling people a curfew is in effect until 8 o'clock in the morning. So they want everybody in their safe spot. There's too much out here on the roadways. There's still, metal that's hanging on maybe by a thread, or here a piece of sheet metal that it wouldn't take much of a stronger wind gust to get it dislodged and keep it moving. So Mike Bettis, they want everybody out, as we just talked about. There's still plenty of stuff that can hurt you. So out of the streets, out of these businesses, away from anything that could harm you. And if you're safe in your home, that's where they want you to remain. Tevin Wooten, we've got Tevin in Tallahassee, actually, and that's where downed trees obviously have been a huge concern.
Yeah, no, and in fact, it's quite funny you mentioned it, or ironic rather, not quite funny. The fact that you're in Panama City, the winds are dying down. Michael's gone on to the north now. We're in Tallahassee. We're seeing some of our strongest wind gusts and some of our strongest sustained winds here. I think sustained are around 30 miles an hour right now at the airport. That's free from obstruction. But here in some of these neighborhoods, we're getting gusts maybe 45 to 50 miles an hour. And though the rain for the most part is done, those wind gusts are what's going to be telling tonight when you can't see, when people are still trying to go out and drive on the roads when they shouldn't. You don't have any light out here, so you don't know if a tree that's already loose, if it's going to come tumbling down, because quite honestly, it won't take much. With the gusts around 35, 45 miles an hour, which is certainly possible. We've seen gusts this afternoon around 50 miles an hour. So you don't want to risk your life and risk the first responder's life. Speaking of first responders, the mayor and his staff, they are out here sort of doing an early damage estimate or survey to see what the extent of the damage is. Right now, 63,000 people in Tallahassee are without power. That's a rough estimate from the mayor and from the City of Tallahassee website. And we may be seeing more added to that. And by the way, if you are one without power and it's a new reported outage, you can actually go to the Digitally app, Digitally app in your app store and report the outage that way. So then that way the utility company here in Tallahassee knows about it, and then they're able to sort of map everything out and come up with a strategic game plan a little bit better. It's always better to hear from the residents on what they're seeing too, so they can come up with a better game plan. And speaking of that game plan, they've got crews on standby, ready to come out, rip up some of this debris here, Dr. Nab, and then eventually get the linemen out here too, so they can restore the power sooner rather than later for a lot of people who are ready to have their power back. I think some of the residents around here, they've been without power since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm not sure citywide what that number is like or what the time frame has been like, but Dr. Nab, that's certainly something that we can continue to see tonight as some of those trees do continue to fall down.
Yeah, and Tevin, as Mayor Gillum told us even last night when we talked to him, we want people to stay off the roads and let the folks do their job, let the responders, let the power companies do their job and get debris cleared and power put back on. But in the meantime, it's still blowing pretty hard, okay? So just a really bad time to be out on the roads tonight, especially as the sun goes down. It gets harder to recognize the dangers that are out there on the roads. We have a Category 2 hurricane that is now in southwestern Georgia, moving north-northeast at 13 miles per hour. And you look at the long loop, you can see how long this hurricane has held together. And even in Albany, down in southwest Georgia, we're getting reports of wind gusts up to near 70 miles an hour. That's where the core of the hurricane is now directly affecting. And we will be talking to you about what could happen in parts of Georgia as it moves northeastward. And then what about the Carolinas? And we'll go back to the coast in Florida to see the damage.
911 emergency. My husband, he's having trouble breathing.
First responders hear it a lot. And everyone age 65 and older needs to hear it too. The flu and its complications can be deadly, especially for those with a chronic medical condition. That's why there are higher strength flu vaccines for seniors. Ask your doctor or pharmacist for a senior flu shot. Do it today before the flu becomes an emergency. See your healthcare provider or visit these pharmacies.
It's the details that make the difference. Only Botox Cosmetic is FDA approved to temporarily make frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better. It's a quick 10-minute treatment given by a doctor to reduce those lines.
There's only one Botox Cosmetic. Ask for it by name.
The effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Do not receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyelid and eyebrow drooping, and eyelid swelling. Tell your doctor about your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. The details make a difference. The man makes them matter.
Find a doctor at BotoxCosmetic.com/men.
AT&T provides edge-to-edge intelligence, covering virtually every part of your healthcare business, so that if she has a heart problem and the staff needs to know, they will. And they'll drop everything.
Can you take a look at her vitals?
And share the data with other specialists.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now.
And they'll drop everything and take care of this baby.
Yeah, that procedure seems right.
And that one too. AT&T provides edge-to-edge intelligence. It can do so much for your business, the list goes on and on. That's the power of and. And when your patient's tests come back, you can immediately discover.
Domino's delivery drivers are experts at handling bad roads. But those roads shouldn't ruin your pizza when you carry out. So we're doing something about them, starting with this one. If your drive home is rough on pizza, tell us at pavingforpizza.com so we can fix roads across the country. Then carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each.
What's a Tyson meal kit? It's simple, honest ingredients. It's pre-chopped and pre-seasoned. It's just the right amount of help to make a wholesome meal. That's what it is.
Lovely. How does one make such delightful cucumber sandwiches?
Frank's Red Hot sauce, Your Majesty. I put that on everything.
Frank's Red Hot Original, the perfect blend of flavor and heat.
And you're watching the Weather Channel's continuing coverage of Hurricane Michael, a Category 2 hurricane now as it's gone inland, but dealing a heavy blow to the Panhandle and Big Bend of Florida. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis in Apalachicola, Florida, an area that's got a lot of damage. A lot of trees have gone down in this area. If you take a look around me, boy, there's just debris strewn everywhere, right? And a lot of the trees, even if they're standing, a lot of them have had their leaves stripped. The palms, they've done quite well. We've seen a couple palms that have gone down, but you think about a palm, it's very aerodynamic, right? So it's just got the fronds at the top, and that's about it. But people have already been out and started to clean up some debris here and there. In fact, the folks here at the Community Bank, which is a former bank, and they've converted over into a bed and breakfast, and their neighbor, they put some piles of debris out at the edge of the driveway here, and eventually, you know, they'll come by and they'll pick that up. But man, at the height of this thing, it was a beast here in Apalachicola. The surge record setting, over 9 feet of surge here in Apalachicola, as high as they've ever recorded. And we had vehicles that went underwater. We had boats that sank. And when we had that really strong southerly push of wind, all the water was coming up into Battery Park there. In fact, there's a boat that's sitting over the Bay Avenue there. It got pushed off, it got pulled off its moorings. It's actually sitting in the road now. And then we took a look at the winds that we had today. Well, they were really gusting today. We had some places where we had roofs that were peeled off. We had a shed that we saw that was just splintered, and then pieces of it flying through the air. And that stuff can be so dangerous. That's why during these events, the best thing that you can do is just stay inside, because, okay, maybe the wind isn't going to be the thing that hurts you, but the things that are flying around in that wind certainly could. And we saw plenty of evidence of that today. A wind gust officially measured at 89 miles per hour until the weather station stopped reporting. We could have had a wind gust that were higher than that. We had triple-digit wind gusts up and down the Panhandle today with an incredibly intense landfalling hurricane. Category 4 with 155 miles an hour. Think about that. And just 3 days ago, Alex Wilson, we had a depression, a tropical depression. We didn't even have a named storm yet. 3 days later, one of the most intense hurricanes to ever strike the United States. That's really remarkable what the atmosphere did over the course of just 3 days.
Here's something that sounds like rain on my mic. All right, Mike, you know, here in Panama City...
I guess we're going to connect with Alex here in just a moment. I think we're having some audio issues. That's okay. We'll connect with her here in just a moment. But think about this meteorologically, folks. 155 mile per hour winds. We're only 2 miles an hour away from a Category 5. It is conceivable that if we just had more time, if we had 12 more hours, this thing would have been a Cat 5. And those are so rare. Landfalling Category 5s are incredibly rare. Then you think about how the pressure dropped on this, down to 919 millibars, okay? Incredibly low pressure, and so this thing was bottoming out in pressure, and the wind speeds were correspondingly going up. So the two have an inverse proportion. As the pressure goes down, the wind speeds go up, and that's what was happening with this particular system. So maybe in some sense we dodged a bullet. I don't know how you could necessarily say that with a Category 4, but it could have been stronger. It certainly could have been strong enough, that's for sure. Now, the thing about this coastline is it's so surge prone, and we've had that here in Mexico Beach. We saw it in Panama City Beach. We've seen it in Port St. Joe. We've seen it in a place like Apalachicola, St. George Island, our barrier island out there. We don't have an assessment on the island